In this video, we'll look at the black and white arrow and their capabilities. Actually, there's a secret capability of the white arrow that we're going to leave until towards the end. But right now, you know the black arrow is the main selection tool. And so it's great for duplicating things. I hold down Option, drag this out. But the black arrow can resize, as you saw me do in the last video. So if I wanted to, I can just grab a handle. So if I grab one of these handles right here on the side, I can make things bigger or smaller. If I grab a corner, I can then actually manipulate both sides. Of course, if I hold Shift, right, I will constrain this object to its shape. And so that's very handy to do. Besides that, if you mouse over a corner here, you note how my cursor becomes this little double arrow. And when I do that, I can actually rotate my object. And just like any other thing, we can hold Shift and constrain it to 45-degree angles, but let's not do that. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and make this object pretty much the same size as we have here. So once you have that, we're going to switch to the white arrow. So still using your black arrow, go ahead and hold Option and bring this over here. And now we're going to switch to the white arrow. And you may wonder what the white arrow does. Now I can select an object and move it around just the same way as the white arrow, except for if you notice, and it's hard to see in a rectangle, we no longer have that bounding box. Instead, we are in the points of the object. And so we can select an individual point. So if I go ahead right here and just click on that one point, notice how it has turned a filled color, and this right here is not filled, right? So that means I have this one selected. Now I can grab that and manipulate it. So I'm just going right ahead and grabbing one single arrow, one single point, and manipulating that. Besides that, we can go ahead and manipulate an edge. So I can grab this edge and just pull this out by the edge. And that'll get really more interesting when we get to right here. As a matter of fact, let's just work through this. So let's make, I went back to the black arrow, and you notice I jumped to it really quickly. V on your keyboard, whoops, is actually the best way to jump back to your black arrow. So I'm going to go ahead and make a copy here, and I'm going to show you another tool. I know I told you that we won't have to use the pen tool much, but there's a tool, a part of the pen tool, called this anchor point tool, and we need to select that. And because right now we have, when you just click, or when you build a shape that only has, these handles are basically, they have direction, but they don't have acceleration. So really the distance is the acceleration. So if I actually just click and drag on this object, note now I've turned this into a different Bezier handle that has the acceleration handles shown. And we can manipulate the handles as well. So let's make another copy of this, and we're going to try to see what happens. So now I'm going to use the white arrow, and it shouldn't say hold the pen because we need to be in the white arrow. And I'm just going to select that one single thing. And now what I can do is just go ahead and manipulate this, right? I can rotate it around. See what I'm doing there? One last thing we can do is sometimes note the handles are moving with each other. Let's go ahead and make another copy right here. And go back to our white arrow, A on your keyboard, and I'm going to select this. Now if I don't want these two handles to work together, what I can do is hold Option, and notice I get this little plus. And as soon as I hold Option, I can move that away. Now what you've done is decoupled those handles. So if you further want to work with these handles, you don't have to worry about holding Option. They're no longer coupled. You can just go ahead and manipulate these all to their selves. And so like I said, we already learned this, but let's play with it one more time, is that we don't have to just use Bezier points. We can actually, sometimes you have to click off the object and then back on the object to make sure you just have an edge, right? So this time I just have an edge. And so notice this handle is starting to update with how we're manipulating that. And so that's pretty much the white and the black arrow. That's also the very important anchor point tool where you'll need to change sometimes points. We're going to try to stay away from points as much as we can, but I want you to get this baseline knowledge.